Hello everybody, this is Christina at Scrapcraft and Stitchery, and this is the back half of my cat named Grim. He is a wonderful cat, and he is... Hello Grim, I love you so much, yes. Oh, sweet baby. He's sleeping in the window in his window seat at the desk. So I am working on catching up on the 50 stack challenge. I am behind, mainly just because this is a pretty easy, simple weekly challenge to make 2 pieces of ephemera per week, which I think is fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. And I'm making journal cards, and I have cut out 4x6 cards that I'm using for this, and I'm working on prompts 3 and 4. This is week 2 that I'm working on. And then I'll be caught up, quite frankly. This is actually this week. So the prompts are pulled and provided by Amy at Crafty Cat, which I will link you to her so you can find her. I'm making journal cards because I need journal cards, and I'm doing this. I don't think there's not, I mean, with these challenges, rules are kind of a little bit suggestions rather than rules. That's how I look at it. But I have made my own kind of, rules for this to, I don't know, maybe kind of give me some direction and guidance. And, so when she first did this, apparently it was, I'm just going to talk to you about the whole thing again. So this is helping me to figure out what I'm doing here and keep me on track. And anyway, so Amy pulls, she has a bag, and she just pulls 2 prompts each week to make this is getting more and more complicated as I'm doing this. I'm just looking at this. I'm kind of starting this card as I'm going along. Let me get through this. So she pulls 2 prompts from her paper bag. There are 50 prompts in the bag to begin with at the beginning of the 25 weeks. And she pulls 2 each week, and those are the 2 prompts for the week, and you make a piece of ephemera. And this is the 7th year that she's done this, or the 7th time that she's done this. I guess it could be. You could do 2 a year. Anyway, I'm doing them for 25 weeks. So, yes. So you get 2 prompts per week. Nobody knows what they are before the week starts, not even Amy, because they're pulled randomly, which I love things that are random. I think it's fantastic. So there's that. I am going to make these more. Yes, I'm going to make this into a flip. I am deciding this right now. So the prompts for 3 and 4 are green tree, which is what I'm working on here. And I have these great pine tree stencils, and I'm just going to choose one of these and make kind of a pine tree forest. And this is going to be a very simple thing, or so I thought. I am making journal cards as my ephemera. So as Amy started this, she just had a pad of guest checks is what she had, and there were 50 in the pack, and she decided that she would pull 2 prompts and make 50 pieces of ephemera from the guest checks. And so that is how this whole thing started. I was going to make this a very simple piece, and I have changed my mind since then. First, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to construct this, and this will be a journal card that I can put into one of my journals, and it's going to have a ton of space to write on, but what I want to do is stencil onto the front and I think the back, and I think I'm going to make this like a trifold and connect this here and here with some just washi tape. And on the front of this, so And I like this. This will kind of give you some layering effect as well. And it's going to be an insert where I can write a lot. So I'll cover a lot of these spaces with some journaling paper, probably just some white or some light green paper. We'll see. I don't know. I haven't found that yet. I thought I had everything I needed, and I didn't. I might not show you where I do that. I might just show you the stenciling part and assembling this. I was not going to do that. I was just going to have this be glued down, and then I was like, it could be a pocket, but I think it's going to be a flip. I am in the mood to make like little tiny books out of these, apparently. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stencil this, and I'm going to stencil this with these trees, and I'm going to put a sentiment on the front, and it's going to be fairly basic, honestly, to be totally and completely honest with you. I think it's going to be really and truly kind of a simple bit of ephemera. I love these trees, and I am going to ink these in let's use this tall one. I might go in just kind of a couple of different layers of these, which I think looks really pretty. And I did get some speckled egg as well, which I think will look really pretty going back into the ground. So I have out Distress ink, Distress oxide. I'm probably going to make a mid layer in Distress oxide and then go over the top of it with Distress ink lower. And this is, I think this will be lighter. This should be a little bit lighter. And then I think the Distress ink will be a little bit darker. So I want it to be kind of light, dark in the foreground, and then lighter, so it looks kind of like you're moving off into the mist as you go farther out into the forest. I love these stencils. I think they are so cool for building forests, which I love. Love, 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 love. So this is green tree, and then I'm going to do lace. And I will probably just do this and leave you at that. I don't know, I might show you all the way through the whole process and adding the layers for the adding the layers where I'm going to do the journaling. Maybe, I don't know, maybe not. I kind of wanted to make this kind of be short and sweet, kind of a little video for you so that it's just easy to watch. Cannot find the lid. Da-da-da. Okay, so that's the Distress oxide, and the reason I put that one down first is because this is more opaque and this is more see-through, and so I just like to generally start in that way. So these will be the trees in the foreground. So I want them to be kind of lower. So maybe you're up on kind of a hill and you're seeing the things stretching out into the distance. So I'm going to add these down to the bottom of here. Also, maybe pick a place where there is something going on down there. Right? I was going to use the same one. Am I going to use the same one? I might use, that one has some weird trees. I might use, that doesn't have enough detail. I think I found it. I think I have found it. Hopefully I've left myself enough room and I can do this. Yes, Grimlet. With the stretchy feet, stretchy feet, stretchy feet. We'll see how this looks. We'll see if I left myself enough room to get the feeling of, you know, forest receding back farther and further. Do you want the darkest bit? I am trying to get this kind of dark. Okay. Don't know what I did here. Okay. Oh, goodness, goodness, goodness. I might... Is that like a whole different tone? Not really. That's okay. I'm going to go back into the oxide. I am mixing these with the same brush, so we'll see what happens. I'm just not going to put as much down. I want to fill in that spot. And you know what? I forgot to do the other card. So there's that. Okay, let's try it. I like this one the way it is, honestly. But let's keep going. I might take this off of this ring. I have them on this ring, but I feel like it's kind of getting in my way at this point. So I'm just gonna take it off of there. I don't know that this is giving me as much difference in the colors, and I am, as I was kind of really hoping for. And maybe I'm just being super critical. There is a distinct possibility that I have just reached that point in the day where I have become, I don't know, my own worst enemy. I like this shape. So we'll put this in over here and kind of fill in over here. Make it smooth and look good. And I think I just want to kind of fill in all the way to the bottom of this card with the green. Good, I like that. Okay, great. I actually do like it. I don't like that I got that line there. It does look like a pine forest, and it does have layers, and it looks a little bit, yeah, okay. It's a little bit. And now I'm just going to add, even though it is a green tree, I'm going to add a layer of blue, kind of just drifting off into the background. Maybe I should have added this first. I don't know. Let me find another paddle brush that's maybe a clean one or a blue one. See what we can find. I have 2 orange makeup brushes over there. 2 orange ones. I don't know what the heck was going on. This is a really big trees, and I'm going to put them in the background. These should have really been in the foreground. Okay. I was thinking that some of these looked like they would be trees that would be like sticking way up, but maybe not. Maybe not. Let's do this. And here I'm just going to add in a little bit of blue to fill in the very back of the forest. Blending it in to the green. This will just make it feel a little bit like you are receding back and seeing way back into the forest. I like that. I like how that really kind of adds to it and adds to the kind of mist. I'm just going to blend a little bit of blue down in here into this green. So it looks like you're looking into these in-between parts. I think this will make a beautiful journal card. I think it will. Okay, and this is going to flip up, and this will flip down, and it's got back on there. That's really pretty. Okay, let's kind of do the same thing over here. We'll just add in a few extra trees out in the far distance. This is the lighter color. And it's just going to kind of blend in with that green and all look like forest. There's some tall trees back there. They must be going up a hill. Anybody else have John Denver playing in their head right now? Okay. There you have that. Green trees. I love it. I like this a lot. I love these forests. Like just, there's nothing quite like a beautiful green forest. Okay, so now to construct this, I have this piece of olive, which I think goes really well with the rustic wilderness. And it does have a very textured side on one side, and it does have a more flat kind of a side, and so I'm going to assemble this like this. So you're going to see these are not, this was just a piece of scrap that I pulled out of my scraps. Piece of scrap paper that I thought was exciting enough without being overly exciting, honestly. I just wanted this to be a very simple kind of a piece with just the stenciling, and I'm probably going to add a piece of, I have some word stamps, and I'm going to put a word stamp on here. Just on the front, and that's all this is going to be. I want it to be very simple. I wanted it to just kind of be like, oh, look at these beautiful trees in this forest, and I wanted it that way. So I grabbed this paper, and it's just got this very simple print. It's got a little bit of color, just a little. A little bit of a torn edge gives it a little bit of interest, and I'm going to assemble this all together with some green washi tape, probably only on the inside, to make one simple hinge, and that's really all you have to do. The other way I could do this is, let's see, I talked about having this be a writing space. So I guess the way that I could do this, I actually have a piece of stationery. Let me go find my stationery. I'm gonna find the stationery, and I'm gonna use that, and I'm gonna just attach that to the inside of here as a writing space. I think that will work, because it has trees and a forest theme. Do I like these? These are far more blue, but these are the options that I have. And honestly, I really like both of these. We're gonna go with it. We're not gonna overthink this. We are not. Okay. So these are really pretty because they're double-sided too. Those are at 4 inches. How much is this? $7.5. Kind of like this bird. Okay. If this is 7.5, so 3.5 plus 3 1/4 should cut this in half, is what I'm thinking. I guess I could fold it in half and check that. These are not exact, and you know what? I don't care. So this is the front, and I think yes. Okay. Is what I want is I want to have this strip at the bottom that is just that card. Okay. So this will flip up, that will attach there. We'll have an inside forest and an outside forest. They don't match exactly, and are we going to be okay with that? We absolutely are 100% okay with there being a beautiful writing space inside of here that is blue. Let's do this with ingot walnut stain, because walnut is a tree that is sometimes green. Walnuts are usually black walnuts. That's okay. Yeah, I love using different stationaries in my journals to create writing spaces. Why not? That's what stationery is for, right? To give us beautiful paper to write on. And that's what junk journals are for, to give us beautiful paper to write on. So, beautiful writing spaces. That's what I'm trying to create with mine. Is just really these like living journals that are so full of like creativity and artwork and just really everything that I love can go in here, or something that I feel very passionately about anyway. This is going to be a great card and I love it a lot. Okay. Feel like I need to align these pretty heavily. I mean, you could even let that bump up like that and be like a visible hinge. Oh, I kind of like that. I kind of like that. That might be happening, guys. This card is getting bigger and bigger as we go along. Things are happening. We don't need to stay on the inside of there. Let's see. Could you make that a pocket? Yeah, you could. We're not going to. That would be, I feel like, a lot. What do you guys think? Do you want to have it hidden? Hidden? I kind of like hidden too. I said I was going to make this a very simple thing. Let's go ahead and ink this guy up too. I'm just going to use the one piece. I pulled out my entire pack of stationery here, as one does. But I love this bird, so, and I don't know that I've ever used this in my journals before, and thinking about putting a video about just different things to add writing spaces to your journal, different paper sources, and a lot of these are just things that I've collected over time. I don't know. We'll see if I get around to that or not. If you're terribly interested and you see this or hear this, let me know in the comments below. And I would love to accommodate just a walkthrough of papers that I have, or paper ideas. it seems like kind of a great thing to do as I'm going into today thinking I'm just going to make 50 journal cards over the next half a year. Ooh, this thing is really starting to, and then I'm going to do this hinge because this hinge is actually going to be glued and holding these two papers together, so it might actually show just a tiny little bit. And so I'm inking that as well. That might be the end of that dauber, honestly. It's really just making a mess at this point, falling apart and deteriorating, and now I have dauber everywhere. Okay, love this and how this looks actually, and I really like this background paper, even though I opted to use this. And let's glue this down. I don't know. Being really picky about the glue today. I'm like, I don't want to use this glue stick for this, but it seems like it's just the easiest thing to use. The best thing on this writing paper. Okay, so how I'm going to do this is I'm going to line this up on here. Hopefully this is going to be the trickiest part of this, is getting all of this lined up onto this glue correctly, because if we don't, then our book is going to be lopsided and not work correctly. Oops, it's not right. It's not right. It's not right. Stop. Okay. We'll try it again. Second try. Second try. And I opted to not leave the hinge. So I think the best way is to line this up and then lay it down. There we go. Okay. And it's working perfectly. Okay. So the second side, oh, it did not get on there straight at all. Some days I know what I'm doing. Today is not that day. Okay, sorry about that. Is that straighter? I do think that's straighter. Okay. Third time is the charm. I do think that is where I wanted that. Okay. Okay. Now, if we ink this guy and everything's going, so when we flip this up, this will flip up, and the trees are going to be in the right order, and you can write all over this onto your stationery, to your notes to yourself. And they will be beautifully hidden away so that people can flip through your beautiful journal and not have to dig around if they want to see what you think about them. Because yes, when I'm writing in my journal, I am definitely writing about you. And how wonderful you are. And how you make such a difference in my life. So I think the easiest way to do this is going to be to just line that up like that, right? Okay, difficult constructions. We're making complicated books out of our journal cards today for this simple and easy challenge, right? Okay, that sounds about right. You've come to the right place if that's what you're looking for. That is definitely my preferred mode. Take something super simple and make it into something dastardly fun. It's more fun than you should be allowed to have. So this is going to open like this. So this will be the back, and it's going to open on this hinge, and you're going to see this beautiful bird and more writing space. So if you're here, you can do this, and then this will have to open. You'll close that and open this. It's a good thing we tested this out. Okay, so the way this is going to work is you're going to open this. This is the front. It's going to have a little sentiment up here in the trees when we're all done. All is said and done. We'll have a sweet. When we're done, this is going to have, I'm walking myself through this so that I do this correctly. Take the time. I'm going to put a sentiment here. That'll be great. And then I will flip this up and you can write in there, and then you can flip this down and write on the back. And that's what the whole thing will look like. And so I think and then, I'm just going to glue this down, and then I'm going to be done. And I've inked this top portion because that's, well, this will be the bottom portion. Anyway, because that is where it's going to be seen at the bottom. Because there's not going to be an outside hinge on this. It's just going to have this journaling card. It's going to hold the whole thing together. No fuss, no muss. Just me, a girl, playing with her paper. So I want to line this up. I think this is the better way to do this, where I am really just trying to line that up with the top of this. And making sure everything is relatively straight. It's not quite in the center. And you know what? It is gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. And we have messed this up because this is on the wrong side of this card. Because this flips, and then that should flip. That's gotta be like that, and that's gotta be like that. And that will be the top, and that will be the bottom. Did you guys see that I was doing it wrong? Did you see? And you didn't tell me. This glue is getting pretty tacky, but I think it's actually good. Okay. think it's gonna hold better and faster. So I'm just lining it up on this edge. And I'm going to lay it down, and it's really crooked on there. Peely crooked, and it could be that this card is not actually that straight. I found some paper that I've been cutting for a while, and it is not that straight. So there is a distinct possibility that that's just what's happening there. Okay. And now I'm just gonna lean that up, line it up, stick it down. Okay. So I now have a card. And this will flip up, and you have writing space. And then this will flip down, and you'll have writing space. And I'm gonna put a sentiment here. This is scrapbook.com, wordfetti, best day ever. I am just really enjoying using my stamps, which I don't always do. Yikes, I have glue all over this now. Very sad. Isn't that pretty? I made a little forest, and I think I might use love this place, or love this so much, or best day ever. That would be a good journaling prompt. Remember this would also be makes my heart happy, which is one that I've already used. I should have come to this knowing what I'm going to do. You are my sunshine. That's probably why I bought this. Since this is a journaling card, I think little adventures or magical moments, and I'm going to go with magical moments for this. And I'm just going to put that right there. I'm going to stamp it directly, bravely onto the card. I brought this huge acrylic to help me with this. Hopefully it does not mess me up. It'll be a little bit easier that way. Okay. I am choosing this really and truly because I feel like this is a really good prompt for a journal card. I moved from the west to the south, and we just don't have forests like this here, and I kind of miss this a lot. But I get to revisit and have all of these. I mean, I have spent some really great times out camping in the trees, and they are truly magical. So just wonderful, wonderful time to just kind of spend alone out wandering by yourself out amongst the trees. I suggest that you do that. And I do that. I go on walks, and I like to walk on the rails to trails, and it's wonderful. And so much so that we looked myself up, Scrapcraft and Stitchery up on a Google search, and I apparently talk about this kind of thing a lot. Anyway, that is Green Tree, and it's a journaling card, and you have an open place to write and lots of journaling space. So you could stick this in your book, and on the back you also have journaling space that opens to write like that. So you're going to use this by going this way and then going this way. All right, I am working on the fourth prompt for this, which is lace. And I have this great paper that has a paisley embossed print on it, and I just love it. This color really actually kind of reminds me of my mother. I am going to try and stamp and start out by doing all four corners of this with this one. That looks really good. This punch does not work that well, and I always manage to get it off at the last minute on the last corner, so then it doesn't punch correctly, and I'll have four corners that look really good and one corner that is like, oh, what happened? So I never use this punch. I did it! I got all four corners. This is a magical moment. This is truly very exciting because I never get all four corners of this. So that is my magic for today done. That is a journal card. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to just layer on, I want to get another piece of cardstock to make a layer on this. And I'm going to collage this on top, and then I'm going to put some lace on it. And maybe I'll make a pocket. I don't know. I haven't really decided. But I definitely need something that will go like inside of here. So let's see what I can find. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to take my card. I'm going to mount it onto here, probably as a pocket. So this will be a pocket, and then I'm going to mount this onto here, and it's a little bit smaller. This will be my lace piece. This might also be a pocket. That doesn't seem very straight, does it? What the heck? So I'm going to cover this though in this. And this is just a piece of, I think this is just a piece of paint background that I have saved, and I really like this. I think it's kind of crazy and wild, and I'm going to attach that to this. I'm going to attach this to that. I don't know what I'm doing, but one of these two things is going to happen. I'm just going to lay this down, and this is, I mean, literally just like where I've used this to clean up, protect my workspace. But I like it with these colors. And I like how grungy it is. And I'm going to put it on this card. I don't think it really matters. I'm kind of trying to stay away from anything super pink. I have a bunch of this kind of in my stash. I could have glued this down, honestly, with like more like a piece of matte medium, but I'm just going to use this glue stick. I love how it's all kind of wrinkly and beautiful, and you know, this is really where I'm going to get the sanding block out and sand this off. And we're going to have so much leftovers. I think that is beautiful. So I have a sentiment that I want to use, which I think is kind of a fun sentiment for this. If I can figure out where I've put it, maybe. So that's cool. That's going to go on here. We're going to obviously need to ink this up. We'll glue this down. Then this will be glued onto here. And I think that this is going to be like, really, I don't know, a double pocket or something, something, something. That's going to be fabulous. I think I love how that looks. I love how those colors are kind of coming together. Great. I do have this book page piece that I also pulled out of my it's a great day for scraps. Scraps. Okay. I'm also pretty certain I'm gonna pull my brads out for this because I want to find some brads to use. Oh, I have some really cool ones. This is really turning into a little piece of art, even though it doesn't really have any. So this is really kind of shaping up to be its own little kind of piece of art, which I'm really loving. Really super loving this so far. I think I'm thinking it's art because it's got all these beautiful. I need to ink. I need to put some ink on this to really kind of bring out this and to distress this. And I am going to, let's cover this. And also I want to find the correct lace to use. I have this one, which is very nice, but I think it's too big for this. So we can reassess. This has a little tiny heart in it. It's very cute. How do you want to do this? We could go like this, and then like that, and then like that. We could go with different pieces. That is the same piece. Can't fool us. You can just go with this along the bottom. I do kind of feel like this card wants to be orientated in this direction. You can make fun of me later for saying orientated. I don't think that that's necessary a world. But I kind of want to put this in this direction. But I also have a sentiment which I think is going to be better off this way. So I don't know. Let me find... Ta-da. Hello, Graham. Did you come? Hello? Oh, yes, you're a good boy. You're getting used to your little bed back there, yes? It's good? I guess I'm sticking with the walnut stain, even though, well, this is vintage photo, which is good because I like it better. I might, because this is kind of got those raised areas, it'd be kind of fun to just run this all the way across them. See if we can't get a little bit of this to pick up on those bits. This is just going to be a very, very distressed card. I kind of want to collect all 50 pieces of ephemera into a stack, and I don't usually like to make, big stacks of ephemera because I forget to use them. So I make all these journal cards, and I'm going to have another second challenge to, hey, remember those journal cards that you made, and don't you want to, you know, so because this is embossed, don't you want to use those cards? And right now I am kind of, I don't know, I guess I'm switching again, which is good, my focus, but for a while I've been just really kind of like, I want to write, I want to work in my visual journal, and right now I am kind of into this mood of wanting to create ephemera. And so I'm just kind of going with that. Yesterday I was making some paper beads, so if you've seen that video, it should be coming out around the same time. Frankly, I don't know if this one's going to come out first or that one. That one seems like it's going to have a bit of editing to do with it, but maybe it won't be as bad as I think it is. Right now I have like almost 3 hours of video for that. Of course, I'm going on an hour and 20 minutes for this, so we'll see what we're going to do. I guess I could just start putting out. I'm going to put this down, so I don't necessarily need to do that, but I do kind of really want to ink over some of this embossing because I think that looks really cool. It's kind of almost like a Western theme, and I'm really happy that I actually made this other card that's going to go on top of here so much smaller so that it really kind of gives that room. Oh, here's the sentiment I have. It says, I'm neat but not in that clean way. Sorry, I am laughing at my own jokes and I think it's funny, and will that work like that? It will work like that. And the other thing we could do is put a journal card in here and put this on that, which might also be fun. Who am I to say? Oh, this is my rodeo. I guess I have all to say. I wonder if I have any like lace stamp or anything. I probably have something that looks, if not lacy. Okay, I feel better now that everything is inked. Everything can kind of go together in the most extraordinary kind of ways now. Okay. What do I think? So I think that I'm going to make a pocket here. And I'm going to do that by really and truly just Yeah, I'll ink here and leave that open and not mess with that. And I think that's good, and I don't need to have anything. I'll put a card or something in there with a tab on it to indicate that that is in fact a pocket. I am building so much writing space because I am in this. If I'm not in a writing mood right now, I've certainly been in my writing mood. Anyway, I've certainly been in a writing mood lately. If you've been watching my channel, you're probably wondering what is going on and why is this woman actually writing in her journals? And that's just because that's where I'm at right now. That is just what I want to do. Okay, I love that. That will be a pocket right there. We need to leave that so that that glues down because we need to do that. I have this very cool stamp which we need to put on here. How are we going to do that? We don't know. I love this. We have guessed at lace. We've suggested lace with our punch, right? We have not yet talked about how exactly we are planning on lacing this thing up. I have pulled out, I just put this away and now I have it out again. So I think for that, I think we're going to glue the lace down this way and then we're going to lay the lace down that way, and that's going to be our lace, and it's just going to go on this card. And I have these teeny brads in some of these various colors. Let's see if I can find 4 of them that I like on this. That's not a bad color. I am mostly liking that color, but I only see 1 of those. And I'm sure that I have more. They're too small. I can't see them. I think the yellow ones are going to win just because those are the ones I can find. Is that the wrong way to pick them? Maybe. I don't know. There we go. The yellow ones are probably not a bad color. I found the ones I wanted. I found the ones I wanted. Okay. Great. That's awesome. So we have that. That'll work. I think we might use those to attach our lace. I am going to use this lace, and I think I'm just going to, I was thinking 3, but I'm going to do 2. I might attach it with that, and I might not. Stay tuned. But I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do the same thing at the top. And I am super excited because guess what, guys? I have lace. Here we are. I have lace. We're using it. Me pulling it right out when she says lace. I say, yes, ma'am. I got some. Don't use it very often. Just really don't use lace very often on my stuff. And so, super excited to be pulling this out and using it up. Now, I have this sentiment that I want to stamp on here, and I think it's very cool, and I think it's going to be very fun. I am not sure how I'm going to do this on this very fabric. So that might mean that we are attaching it after the fact, which is fine. We might stamp it onto. So I'm going to spray this because that's always a great thing to do with something before you glue it down, because I want to get this kind of dirty, and I think it's going to help it to spread into, so I'm just dyeing my fabric at this point. I was in a live chat and they were saying don't put water in your distress inks. That is a bad idea, especially your oxides, because that will activate the oxide and make it do its reaction thing, and then you won't have it later when you want it to do its thing. This is a distress ink. I don't know if it works the same way, honestly, but you know, you might want to think about that and not do that. I had some spray water earlier. I poured it into a cup. I didn't do all of it. Now I'm just gonna mush this in with my fingers and dye everything here. So that makes that, I like it a little bit better. It just gives it a little bit better definition. I wasn't really going to stain the whole thing, although I did kind of spray it. I kind of like that side better now. It also just makes it feel like, I don't like these are like brand new laces and they just feel so new. And I want them to feel a little distressed. So I am distressing them. You would feel distressed after this for sure, my friend. I don't know, they just seemed very starchy and new and unused, and now they are better. I do say that that's the front. I didn't really necessarily mean to fray this so much, but hey, it's now frayed, and it will go with my sentiment. Which it all fits. It all fits. It's gonna be great. Don't worry. Look at that. It's got lace. It's gonna get a sentiment. It's really pretty. Let me clean up a little bit. This is actually not as wet as you would think that it is, so I'm probably just gonna keep going and assume that the glue is gonna take care of this. Where did that go? Oh, it's right there. Okay. Let's test this stamp. This might be way too orange. I'm not even sure. Oh, it's so good. It is so good. This is fantastic. And I think that, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Don't you think so? Don't you think so? That is great. Okay. Love it. In case you hadn't noticed, I love this so much. Okay. I like this, so I am going to maybe just tear this out. This is just a piece of copy dye paper out of my scrap bag box. I might let you... Okay. Yeah, I think that, like that, is very, very fitting, and actually might be a way to kind of attach this, honestly, to here in a way that is kind of neat, but not in that clean way. I like that a lot. Okay. Okay. This we can work with. I'm just grunging up everything. This is grungy lace. just the way I like it. Okay. It almost looks like it says I'm near. Eh. Okay. So now we have to decide. We did get out these tiny little brads. So we have to decide where we want those, where we want our lace to attach, which I think we've already figured out where we want our lace to attach is going to just be like that. That's going to be our card. This is going to be there, and so we have to decide, I think, if we want these to be neatly in the corner, or if we want them to just kind of be scattered around. We could put one in here and one in here. And I'm kind of feeling like for this, we really just kind of want to have them scattered, and we don't really necessarily even need 4 because we don't. So I'm gonna just glue this stuff down, and then I'm gonna figure out where to put these brads. We might get another. We probably want 5. If we're gonna use 4, I think we should use 5. And then again, if we're gonna use these are so tiny, just so tiny. I can't even see if they're the same color because the light in here kind of changes things. And you know what? If they're not, then they're not. I think they're the same color. Magically waving our wand. The other thing I want to do is put something on the back of this, and I have some coffee filter somewhere, and I might put that on the back because I think it makes a really cool texture. This might be really cool if it was had stitching on it too, but I think we're past the point where we're going to be doing stitching on here. Okay. It's cute. It's wonderful. We're going for it. I'm going to glue everything down, or at least I'm going to glue this lace down. One of these has glue all over it, and the other one does not. Super unfair. Super unfair. Okay. Okay. And then this one will go that way, like that. So it's got kind of a border thing going on. I am making these super overly complicated. I just can't help myself. I'm having a super fun time playing with all of my things today. just going crazy. So now I'm going to kind of scatter these brads around just really wherever I feel like they should maybe go. And I'm just going to poke a little tiny hole and stick them in as kind of a fun little idea. These are so tiny. Okay. So I definitely want to have one in each corner here where the lace is kind of touching this. That's kind of why I put them there. So that it looks like this is holding this whole thing together. Who needs glue when one has brads? And it is actually holding that down because I didn't glue that down. So there's that. And then I think they can just kind of go around, right? Doesn't really matter too much. I'm just gonna punch some holes. In different places like they've been scattered about. In a neat way. Scattered in a more or less orderly and thought out way. You do have to hold your cell phone there, mister. Push it all the way in, then open it. It's a good thing I have fingernails. Okay. Fantastic. Okay. Loving this so far. I need to figure out where I've put all of my coffee filters. Now, the question is, I think we're just gonna glue this down. And not put an extra little tuck space up here. We're gonna put a little extra tuck space. Who are we? We're definitely going to put a tuck space. I am going to put some washi tape or tape, glue, piece of paper or something over these spaces so that nothing gets stuck on here if I pull things in and out of here. I'm really thinking about just lining the whole back of it with like a piece of something. And this is probably, I mean, very likely maybe going to be what I tuck behind here is a piece of graph paper or something. But I am going to make a little bit of a tag to go down in here and glue that down like that. All right, this is basically just masking tape. So I was gonna just put like a big long piece of this, which is why I ripped it off. And then I kind of thought better because I didn't know how well this is going to glue down. And given that some of these are kind of close to the edge where I'm going to want it to glue down, I didn't want to cover that too much. Basically, this is just to keep anything from getting caught on the backs of my brads, because I am going to make another pocket, and then I'm going to have to make a tag. So hold on tight for just more and more and more, right? And you don't have to. You could just leave it. You could just call it a day and say, when I decide whatever I'm going to use this for, I will make that call then. So I obviously, my original thought when I pulled out the brads was they're going to put them in the corners and attach them to this pocket. At that point, and I'm gonna just put like a piece of paper down in there. It's not gonna be anything. I'm gonna take a piece of paper and fold it in half and put it in there. So that's not gonna be too terribly much. It's just gonna be a little thing. And boy, let me tell you, I am gluing the heck out of this because I do not want it to come off of there ever. It is going to become one with, I'm just a little worried because this is a little bit bulky at this point with all these different brads. I think this is so funny. I don't always make jokes in my journals, but I love this one. Okay. I promise you in person it is more near the center than it looks like on screen. All right, guys, so I have to be honest here. It got hot in my craft room and I turned on the air conditioner, and I have now cut the sound out because the air conditioner is loud. And for your listening pleasure, I'm now going to complete this in a voiceover, and I'm going to attempt to tell you what I was thinking and doing during this time, and be my charming and witty self while I tell you about what I was doing. So what I'm doing here is I've pulled out all of these things because I have realized that I now have a journal card with a pocket on the side and a top loading pocket, and I need to find things to decorate the back of this card and the two pockets. So I pulled some stuff out. Fortunately, I remembered that the paper that I have used, at least that paisley embossed paper, was part of a kit, and I have a lot of ephemera from that scrapbooking kit from Club Scrap that I had a long time ago that actually came with that kit. So I have pulled those things out, and there's a lot of it. This says the hardest years are those between 10 and 70, and here I make a joke about, yes, I am somewhere between 10 and 70, and I can guarantee you that these are the harder years of the life, although I haven't gotten to 70 yet, so we'll see. When I get there, I expect things to be pretty much easy street from there, right? So I think that I've already talked about making a tag or kind of a bookmark to go down inside that front pocket out of this graph paper. And so I have gotten a sheet of this graph paper that I got from Amazon. It's very nice. And as well as these 2 sheets of scrapbooking paper. These are kind of a light paper, good for writing and journaling on. And I have the one that I'm gonna fold and put in the pocket on the side, and I'll use the other side to line the back of my card. I am very, I'm gonna tell you right now. So I used that tape on the back of those brads, and I really should have just put a piece of like an index card or a piece of paper over those brads, because I will say that for this card I'm having a really hard time with make a really cute little notebook out of this graph paper, which is just 2 sheets. You'll see this in a moment here. I'm cutting this down to size, but whenever I try and stick it down into the pocket, it gets stuck on the tape, which is kind of peeling up. And I think that I just heard myself mention that as I was doing this, I never wanted this to come up off of this card, and I have tried a couple of times, and I will tell you that it is stuck down there. It is not coming off of the back of that card. So, yeah, if your intuition tells you to just cover the brads on the back of that with a piece of paper, go ahead and do that. It's okay. It's gonna be fine. I think it's in there now, so I might just leave it in there and never pull it out again. I might decide to try and fix it somehow, but I'm not really sure how I'd do that. Anyway, so this is the matching paper, or the matching ribbon that came in that scrapbooking kit that I told you about. And I'm going to choose the orange one, and I just kind of weave it through here and then tie a bow. And super cute, super easy little notebook that I really like. See, this is where I'm afraid I'm going to be like, why aren't you tying this faster? I could make you do it faster, but I'm not going to. As I was saying, looking back at this, I really kind of wanted to honestly show this whole process and tell you about what I was thinking and feeling, since I've already put, at this point, an hour and a half into doing that. So I am going to continue to narrate and try not to, it's really interesting. One of the things that I've noticed, I watch myself craft a lot, obviously, being on YouTube, and I'm just gonna say it's very interesting. Sometimes I see myself doing something, and it's, while I'm watching this, I think of other better ways to do something, or another way to do it that I would like better on a lot of different levels, like on an artistic level, or just sometimes on a practical level. I'm like, well, this would work better. I just told you about lining the back of that pocket with a piece of cardstock, which I thought about doing when I was doing it, and I didn't, and I used the tape instead. I think just because I've seen other people do that. That's because I've already had that experience of not being able to get this little notebook down into the pocket as I played with this. But there's lots of, it works in a lot of different ways. It's very interesting to watch yourself work like this. I just have to say, it's very interesting to watch yourself work. So I'm going to try and not be too incredibly judgmental about what we're doing. See, it goes down, this time. I think every time you stick it down in there, though, it kind of gets stuck on that tape. But I love this notebook. This little notebook is super cute with the little, like, ribbon at the top. Just love it. I really do like this card. So this is the paper that I'm going to, I decided to ink it with the orange. I liked that. I thought that it brought out the orange from the front of the card. Just gives it a little more interest, and it's a little more fun than inking it with, like, say, I could have used the walnut stain or the vintage photo. I have both of those out on the desk right now. But I totally went in for the orange. I still think that that was definitely the right choice here. I just had a lot of fun with this card. So much fun! Okay. So, I am getting close to being done. I really only need to finish this. I have been really trying to write in my journals a lot. I have a visual journal that I'm working in, and that's why I want to make journal cards. I am really working on writing, making inviting spaces that I feel like I want to come and write on. It's just kind of really where I've gotten to, and so that's why I'm doing this. And also I am really excited about the 50 stack challenge. I decided while I was working on this, I did 4 of these journal cards, and I worked on them for about 5 hours this day, and I'm finishing up. So no wonder she's a little bit loopy and slow. I mean, you know, what else can you say? But I'm super excited about the 50 stack challenge. After I've gotten through this, you know, Olympic task of making these first 4 cards, because I started a little bit late. But I'm super excited to make a stack of 50 journal cards that are all kind of the same, because I just think that that's going to be cool to kind of see them all together as one thing. And so that's kind of where I'm at on this challenge right now. I don't know. I want to use them as journal cards in my journal that I'm using right now, but I also kind of want to just save them in a separate place. And I guess, I mean, the compromise would be to put them all into one, use them as journal cards now, and then put them in a journal card in a book at the end. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but this is kind of what I'm thinking. So I have all this great ephemera, and I chose this frame because I was thinking it would be cool to either slip a quote, or I probably am going to put a picture in here. We'll see. But I put this on as a pocket and just go around the one side, the top and the bottom on one side, and leave room to kind of slide. Like I said, I'll probably put a photo in here. I thought it was really cool like that. And then I left the top there as a place where, and maybe on the side, this could be decorated too when you're ready to use it a little bit more. You'll probably want to add a piece of paper or something. But I also, I guess, didn't really want to like cover all of this beautiful paisley print. So we'll see. It's not really completely ready to use yet. There will be some design decisions left at the time of use. But I was thinking that I would probably just put some paper up at the top to write on. And add a photo to the frame. Maybe I should have just used that big orange frame on this. I don't know. It's fine. It's done now. I have more of this paper in my, this orange paper in my collection of things, so we shall see which prompt I go back to. So you'll probably be seeing these pieces of ephemera again if you watch me complete this challenge, because I'm super excited about it. So I decided to make a card, and this is a quote. I think that it says this is Waldo Emerson. I think this was Emerson. Be silly, be honest, be kind. I guess I could look at the card. It's like right there. And I had this piece of book page that was already inked and ready to go, and it was in the things that I pulled out of my stash at the beginning of this. So I'm just kind of playing around, trying to find the best way to attach this. I want to make it as a tab and make a card that's going to provide even more writing space on this card. So I'm just trying to figure out the best way to assemble this at the moment. I really do love this paper. I think it's so pretty. I have to try every single way that this can possibly go in there. I do really think that it fits in the best like that. You know, sometimes it's better when there's just not that many options. That actually looks really good. You should have used that. You could have just left it. You could have just left it. I think though that those cars, like the ovals, the problem with them is that they have a place for like a piece of ribbon to run behind them. And what I was afraid of there was making something that was too bulky to slide into this pocket. So kind of wanted to keep this is something that was like really thin and not super bulky. So I like, if I had added one of these like cool frame ovals, and then I could have added a picture or a quote or something to it at the time when I'm like ready to use this as a journal card, or just include it in whatever. But I think because those actually have like a cutout piece where like you can put a piece of ribbon through them, I didn't really want to use them because I didn't want to add a piece of ribbon and then run the risk of this like card not being able to slide in and out of the pocket freely. So I kind of just stuck with the tab and the quote, be silly, be honest, be kind, and the inside of this card I leave blank so that, I mean, again, this is really just to increase the amount of space where there is room to write or to add pictures or to add ephemera from your life. But I really do like that quote. I think it's really a fun quote. And I do really like it up against that graph paper. I wonder if I'm going to use it. I don't really remember. I hope so. What will she decide? I don't know. At this point, we could have just put like a piece of ribbon in there. Could put a flat ribbon. Of course, you have to ink everything. It just looks so much better, doesn't it? So much better when it's all inked. I'm still curious to, I mean, the card is like right there within reach, and I really don't remember if I put this graph paper on here or not. It's very interesting to see what I decided to do. I think I do, right? I think I tore down one side too so that it would fit better. So much inking. I should really help her out and make her go faster, shouldn't I? We're gonna ink all the way on the inside of this. This is like 3 minutes of inking. Thank you for watching today. Thank you for watching this far. I am super excited to see my channel grow. I started out making really long videos. I am gonna offer some very long videos, and I will make some of them shorter. I've been trying to keep things around 20 minutes, but also sometimes I just want to show like the entire process, and part of that just includes planning. I don't do a lot of planning. I kind of just show you. I could make a prototype and then show you how I made the prototype, but that's, I think, not really how I do things. Look, she's gonna use it. I thought she would. I would use it now. I would definitely use it now, so I'm excited to see that she's using it. Good job. Good job. And the reason why is design-wise, I think, well, first of all, I think it ties to that little notebook that's in the front pocket. And I really like this very strict, like, gridded paper with very straight lines against the very messy, beautiful piece of tissue paper that's really just me catching the paint that I've like from something else, and the tears in the graph paper is just this very formal, very linear kind of a feeling against the paisley background that's like, and I like those things. I like that they don't really match and they don't really go together, but I do think that they look really good together. So that is, I am doing well, and I'm telling you what she's thinking while she's doing this. And she probably didn't say this. She probably didn't bother to tell you this, but that's why we're choosing this. We're choosing this to combine these, like, this organic paisley images with the like curvy lines with the really straight lines, because that's what I like. That's what I like. It makes me feel like there's this strange balance going on there between the curvy organic line and the straight line. And it all comes together so that everything's in harmony. Along with a little humor. Don't take yourself too seriously. Alright, so I'm going to get off of here because Past Me recorded the ending. So here she is. Wow, guys, I am ready to show you my 2 cards, and this is one. This is lace, and in the meantime, even though I just had it, I have lost the other one. So green tree and lace, and this is another 2.5-hour video. What are we going to do with me? So green tree is a very basic and simple stenciled card. It flips up. There's tons of writing space. I'm making journaling cards for this, and then you can flip this down and have this. It's got this beautiful tree stencil for a forest. It says magical moments. Very, very pretty, very, very simple. I got glue on there. I'm gonna have to try and get that sticky spot off of there. Beautiful, beautiful. Used up some cardstock out of my collection. I love this because I have pulled out so many things today. This is some stationery that I had in my collection. That's the other half of the same piece of stationery. I love this bird. Very kind of cool. Very easy, very simple. Tons of writing space. And hello November, you know exactly when I'm getting done, don't you? And this is the second journaling card that I have made. This is for the prompt lace. This is the 4th prompt. And this has, I remembered kind of at the last minute that this paper came as part of a kit. So I have this scrapbooking paper. And it's very cool and I love it, and I pulled this out and I had this ribbon that was part of the kit. This is a piece of just, this stamp came probably out of the same kit, I'm actually thinking, but maybe not. It says I'm neat, but I'm not in that clean way. Who knows? So this is a pocket where I have put this cute little notebook that's on graph paper. It came with a punch, and I just cut it so that it would open like a little book, and there's writing space there, and that goes in there. And this card has, ooh, well, anyway, this is the lace. It's very not neat. I really love this textured just tissue paper that I was using as to clean or to stamp on or whatever it is I was doing. And there's a quote on the inside. This is a pocket here, and so there's a quote and this little card. It comes out with this tab: be silly, be honest, be kind, by Ralph Waldo Emerson. This came with the kit, so it's in this matching paper, and it's already came pre-printed. And this paper, I have this came from the kit too, and I have a whole bunch of extra of this paper, so I was using it up, which is fabulous. I loved this kit so much, and I have a lot of all of those kits left. I'm going to put that back in afterwards. And then the back of this, there is space where you could put some coffee dyed paper or something and journal on the back of here. And then this is a place where I will eventually maybe stick a photo, unless I send this to somebody else in Happy Mail or something like that. And that's that. And those are my 2. That is green tree, and this is lace for the prompt hashtag 50 stack challenge 7, and this is 3 and 4. Be sure to like and subscribe. I invite you to subscribe to my channel. If you like to come back, hit that bell so that you can be directed to come back again and again whenever I post. went in fine the first time, and you know what? I bet that is not. Okay, well, anyway, it's in now. We might not want to actually pull this out again. So much for interactive elements, right? All right. Okay. Like, subscribe, share. Until next time, stitch scrappily, scrap happily. I really appreciate everybody who watches my channel, and it is amazing to me. Thank you so much. From the bottom of our hearts, from the bottom of Grimm's heart, thank you so much for helping my channel to grow. I will see you next time. Bye.